If I took away your slides and asked you, how does your business actually create value? Could you explain it to me clearly in under 5 minutes? That right there is the gap between busy management and strategic leadership. Now, strategic leaders, they just don't track tasks. They carry a model of business in their heads. Customers, their promise, the delivery, economics, one single coherent picture. The fastest way to build that muscle is the business model canvas, a one-page map that forces clarity where most of us hide behind activity. And this is critical for strategic leaders is because as you rise, the scale punishes fuzzy thinking. Meetings get bigger, stakes get higher, and your job shifts from are we shipping features to does this model hold well under real customer behavior, operational constraints, and unit economics. Now, if you were to walk into senior rooms with just status updates, you'll be seen as an executor. But if you walk in with a clear model, tested assumptions, and crisp trade-offs, then you will be treated like a strategist. Now, the business model canvas is not just a pretty diagram. It's an instrument panel for thinking. On the right-hand side, you have the customer reality, which covers the customer segments, the channels, customer relationships, and the revenue streams. On the left-hand side, you have the operational reality. That is the key activities, key resources, key partnerships, and the cost structures. And in the center, you have the value proposition, the contract between the promise and the capability. Now, this layout isn't just decorative. It's a discipline. It forces you to reason across the seam where the customer promise collides with the operational realities and the costs. Now, here's what changes when leaders adopt the canvas. You start to move from details to leverage. Without a model, you chase everything. And with the canvas, you focus where the system is actually constrained. If the conversions are weak, you don't automatically build more features. You check the segment promise fit. You check the channel mechanic. And if the margins are sagging, then you don't slash pricing. You examine the partner mix, activity design, and the cost logic. Because of this, you stop to solve loudly and you start solving correctly. Another shift that the leaders notice is that they move from roadmap to thesis and test. Each sticky note on the canvas is a hypothesis. This segment values X, or this channel scales, or this price signals quality. So strategic leaders, they get specific about what must be true, and then they design tiny tests, 5 customer calls, a pricing experiment, or a 1-week pilot. The canvas becomes a learning loop, not a wallpaper. Change number 3, from crosstalk to alignment. Now, when they can all see the same picture, products, sales, finance, and operations, they finally start to argue about the same picture. Sales grounds their channels in real behavior. Product defends the activities that make the promise real. Finance, they start to pressure test the revenue logics and the paybacks. And operations, they start to validate partners and capacity. This alignment stops to become just a slogan and it becomes a real shared model. And finally, the change number 4, from storytelling to decision. When you use the business model canvas, you can walk a board through the canvas in 5 minutes. What is the customer reality? What is the promise? What is the delivery and economics? Once you have done that, then you can ask for the smallest, sharpest decision that advances the learning or the value. And that's executive presence with substance. A case in point. Consider a team selling an enterprise-grade platform. Conversions are flat, and the default reaction, more features. The canvas tells a different story. Now, on the right-hand side, you have enterprise buyers who want white glove, onboarding, and a trust-heavy sales motion. But on the left-hand side, you can see the activities and partners are optimized for self-serve SMBs. So the fix is not more code. It's channel and relationship redesign, partner upgrades, and pricing that signals reliability. And the canvas makes that trade-off visible early on before you burn quarters building the wrong thing. Now, here's what you can start doing from this week onwards. Pick one segment and one crisp value proposition. No boiling the ocean. Now, draft a blunt canvas with sticky notes, short phrases, no wordsmithing. Mark the top 3 assumptions with a question. Design tiny tests for each one of those question marks. with a clear success criteria: calls, pilots, pricing tests. Now, review this weekly, update the canvas, kill the weak bets early, double down on the signals. In a month, you will have more strategic signal than most teams get in a quarter of status meetings. Now, here's the bottom line. Mastering the business model canvas is not about learning a framework. It's about adopting a way of thinking that is grounded in systems awareness. It's evidence based, and it is cognizant of the trade-offs that need to be made. Now, this is what senior leaders are paid for. So when you lead with a model, your team sees the connections, your sponsors see the clarity, and because of that, your decisions, they start getting compounded. So where do you go from here? Where do you start? Well, I would say print the canvas, book a 45-minute session with your cross-functional leads, and walk out with tested assumptions and won decisions you have earned with evidence. So think in systems, decide with evidence, and lead with clarity. Let me know how this exercise goes for you, and I will see you in the next one.